Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. This is DawnDoesLife, and today I am going on to day 3 of my coffee time diamond painting. And unlike the last time where I finished up my section, this time I just left it and figured that we would just continue on and see where we get, or where we get to. My dishwasher is running in the background, so I do apologize for that. My cat may make a little bit of noise, as I've told you guys before. If he does, I apologize for that. I know that I'm all done apologizing. Let's just get to it. So I'm gonna start with the letter L because I do see quite a few of them. I see some E's and stuff too, but I kind of want to work in this area here and get it filled out before I start worrying about over here. So I've got my L's out here. Oh, and let's just start off by dumping my beads, because that would be excellent. And I've also got my my light pad on this time. It is a little bit later in the day, so let us just get to it. Now, I thought I would do things a little bit different. This time I saw another YouTuber do this and I actually really liked it. I thought it was a great idea. She was answering a bunch of questions. I think her name is Anne, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But I'm not trying to, oh, I've got some extra wax on there. I'm not trying to not give you credit. She's another diamond painter, and she has quite a popular channel, so shout out to her. I have watched quite a few of her videos. I just wish I could remember what her name was, and I feel so bad that I don't. I'm getting old. And it's becoming more and more clear on a daily basis. So today what I thought I would do is answer from the same kind of list of questions that I took the same article, but I'm gonna start, I don't know whereabouts she started, but I'm going to start at the Unconventional Questions section of that article. And I also will post a link to the article down below in my description so that you guys can go and grab it and do that as well. Use that as well if you'd like to. So the first question is, if you see a puddle on the ground, do you walk around it or over it? And I mean, doesn't that depend on the size of the puddle? I'll hop over a puddle, no problem. But if it's big, I'm gonna try and find a way around it, because I am not the most, I'm a little klutzy. And I'm not the most stable person. I mean, I used to think that I had balance, but I don't know if nowadays it would be a good idea for me to chance jumping. Yeah, so that's what I would do. I would do either or, depending on the size of the puddle. Oh, that one's not wanting to pop in there right. Uh-oh. What am I doing here? Am I making a mess? The next question is, if you could have a superpower, what would it be? What would it be? You know, wow, I would love to fly, but I'm kind of afraid of flying. But if I knew I could fly, I might. But I think the one that I would have to pick, I think I would want to read people's minds. Because, you know, sometimes people don't always say what they mean, and I have gotten myself into trouble by misinterpreting what a person has said, and I think that mind reading would be a really good one to make sure that I was answering a question or responding to something said or done appropriately. So I think mind reading. I mean, there's so many, right? I mean, I'd love to be a fly on the wall and or be invisible to see, you know, what people are like in their real lives, but then I wouldn't want that I wouldn't want somebody to see that for me, so I don't think I would pick that one. That one's a little too invasive, but it would be fun. But I don't think I'd pick it. Next question. If you could go back to any time in history, where would you go? Oh, where would I go? And I can only go back, I can't go forward, hey? I've always said that I wish I was born in the wrong time. I wish I was born at a time where space travel was sort of commonplace, and I feel gypped because I love science fiction so much. But if I could go back, wow. I mean, but I don't know, what would I do? You know, I think I would go back to the day the asteroid hit and killed the dinosaurs, which is, I would like to go early in that day because I'd like to see some dinosaurs first. But I just think that would have been such a spectacular sight. I wouldn't want to stick around much past that moment, but it would be really interesting to see how right the scientists have it. So yeah, that's, I think, what I would do. But I mean, that seems kind of lame too. I mean, there are so many interesting points in history. I don't know. I think that would be the one. If you came back in your next life as an animal, what would it be? Ooh. I think I would come back as... Wow, that is a tough one. These are actually really good questions because there's so many possible answers. I think if I could come back as an animal, I want to say a bird. I love birds. And, you know, not just because they can fly, especially speaking, birds that can speak or mimic or whatever. But some type of parrot, I think I would have to come back as that. One of my favorite birds, probably my most favorite bird, is an African ringneck. Sorry, I said that wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. An Indian ringneck. There's this, and I've talked about this bird before. I don't know what I just did with that diamond, but okay, whatever. Here I go again. Oh, there it is. Just went further down my page. Just want to pick it up and put it back in here. I've talked about Bowie the bird on here before. If you guys love talking parrots and just so amazingly cute and adorable, go check it. Just type in to YouTube Bowie the bird. I think I'm gonna do E next because I see quite a few, although I do see P's too. And I see N's. Actually, you know what? Let's get these N's out of the way. But yes, this bird is amazing, and he is the reason I fell in love with that style of bird. But I've always been drawn to birds. I've never had a parrot. I have had a budgie, and my grandparents, well, actually my aunt had a budgie and he spoke. He used to call the dog's name. And I think he would say his own name too. And maybe Pretty Bird. He didn't say a lot, but I know it's not completely common for budgies to speak. and he did. And I don't know, I've always been fascinated. But when I had my own budgie, he never spoke, but I developed this bond with him, and I drive Greg nuts because anytime we've traveled down to Mexico, I make friends with the animals. The first time we went, I had this bird land on our patio and just walk around and talk to me. It scared the hell out of him. But the second time it landed on the patio, he wasn't there, so I felt good with just kind of talking to him. But this bird just watched us for a few days and then just decided to come, and at first he was just on the banister, but when he walked towards Greg wanted to... He does not like birds. He's not a bird fan like I am. Anyways. But I just felt so happy when I had that moment with it when it came on my patio myself. And I actually don't even know the kind of bird it was. I think I looked it up and I found it once. It's different. I called it a turkey bird. Maybe I'll insert some footage because I'm pretty sure I still have that footage. If I have it, I will insert it just to show you that moment. And then too, like, we went and did a pirate dinner cruise kind of thing, and when we first got to the marina, there was a guy with his great big I think it was a macaw, and it was on my shoulder, and I had that. I just love birds. I just love birds. I know that's a really long explanation, but I mean, I just feel like I love them. But having said that, the last time we were in Mexico, I made friends with a raccoon. And if you check out the very first video I posted on this channel, it's my TRS Yucatan video. It is the most awful video. I'm so embarrassed, but it was kind of my way of, I'm either going to start a YouTube channel or I'm not, and if I don't have something to put on by this date, I'm posting this video. And I did it, and then right after that I started posting other videos. But anyways, there you'll see that there was a raccoon in that video, and I loved this thing, and I was sitting and talking to it, and just, it was keeping me company. Greg had gone to bed, and I mean, he saw it, but I was sitting on the patio. We had a private pool, and I was sitting on the patio in the pitch black, and all of a sudden I saw this shadow walk along the edge of the pool, and it scared the hell out of me. And then it slowly came closer and closer, and I realized it was this raccoon, and I just thought it was so cool. And then we were talking to our concierge about it, and he was like, "Oh, you know, you shouldn't let it come anywhere near you. They're very dangerous." I mean, from that point on, I was afraid of this thing, and I think this thing really wanted to be my friend. So anyway, whatever. I lost out on an opportunity for a lasting friendship, and I like to think that he's still, he or she is still out there making friends with whoever has been in our villa since then. Anyway, oh, that's going right to the edge there. If you got to name a new country, how would you decide what to call it? Oh my God. How would I decide? I would think long and hard about it, but I think in the end, I would probably defer the naming of a country to the people. I mean, I guess it would depend on what the people call themselves. I don't know. I mean, is this in English? Is this... I have no idea. Oh, okay. Once again, I'm gonna sit here and talk on camera, and my phone's gonna beep, and my watch is gonna beep. But yeah, I think I would defer the naming of another country to the people of that country. Like maybe I'd have people submit names to a certain date and then everybody could vote or something like that. I wouldn't want that responsibility myself. That's my story. That's my answer. I thought I saw Anne. Oh, there we go. What is the next? What would be the title of my memoir? Well, probably the same thing that I call my channel, Dawn Does Life. I don't know. I've never considered writing a memoir. But yeah, that's what I would probably call it if I had to. And that's probably the reason why I will never write one, because that's the title I came up with. Do you hit the snooze button or wake up immediately? Well, I haven't had a snooze button for a long time. Well, I guess my phone has a snooze. Never mind. I'm thinking of alarm clocks. I am definitely a snooze button person. It drives my... Where did my... Oh, there. I was looking for my case. It drives Greg nuts, but luckily he is usually up long before me. He is very much a morning person. I am very much not. And I don't sleep well. I suffer from a lot of insomnia, and it usually takes me a long time to fall asleep. So usually by the time, if I have to use an alarm, usually by the time my alarm is going off, I haven't had enough sleep to feel rested. So I would say in my entire life, I could probably count on my 10 little fingers less than that times that I've hopped out of bed immediately. Now, what's the first thing I do in the morning? Well, the very first thing I do is come downstairs and turn on the coffee pot. I have the Keurig Duo Plus, so it's got like a coffee pot. I can brew a pot of coffee, but I can also brew the singles. And this one is not like the old one where it was always on. This one it has to heat the water up as you need it. So I usually will turn the power on that and then go to the washroom and come back and make myself a cup of coffee. And that is the very first thing I do in the morning. What's the last thing I do at night? I would say watch YouTube videos or watch a show, something on Netflix, but it's watching something. Definitely. Some people say that affects your ability to sleep. I'm sure that there is truth to that. I mean, many experts say it, but I find I usually wait to sleep, to even try to sleep, until I really, really feel tired, and by that point I watch a show and will fall asleep to it. Or I also think too, like, I'll put it on science documentaries or some kind of long video, maybe Amazon haul sometimes, I don't know. Anyways, I think subliminally I am still listening to it even though I'm sleeping, but at some point I will always pull out my earphones and turn off my tablet or my iPad. Ooh, do you believe in any conspiracy theories? No judgment. Well, I think in my last video, not yesterday, that was a few days ago, I talked about it. Yes, I definitely believe in conspiracy theories. I'm one of these people that I'm always trying to look for the angle, and I don't know if it's because, I don't know, I actually don't know why, but I just love the idea that there's things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And I guess, I mean, the first real thing I felt any type of way that there was some kind of cover-up going on was, of course, like Roswell and aliens and, you know, UFOs, and I just think that there was stuff going on with that. I think there was, I don't know, I think there's a ton of conspiracies. And I don't want to say a whole bunch of what my current ones are, simply because, you know, some of them are political. And I don't want to start nothing, so I'm not going to. But yes, I do definitely believe in conspiracy theories, and I 100% believe in them. Like, I can't say that any stronger. What's the next one? Do you think iced coffee should only be consumed in the summer or all year round? Well, mostly in the summer. I love iced coffee. I love Tim Hortons iced cappuccino, iced cap, whatever you want to call it. But I don't drink them very often. But I do mostly drink them in the summertime. Having said that, I have had some in the winter too, but I think just not as often. So I think if you want to drink ice caps all year round, you should, and I don't think there should be rules around ice caps. I think they're... Oh my god, I can't get this box out. Yeah, ice caps or iced coffees are not the thing that I would make a rule about. This is number 10. What am I doing? It's E? Yes, E's. I get talking and then I can't even remember where I'm going. Would you rather be covered in fur or covered in scales? You know what? I'll say scales. And the reason being, because I'm always hot, and the idea of being covered in fur would absolutely drive me up the wall just thinking about how hot I would be. So I think I would stick with scales. Easy peasy answer there. What's your idea of a perfect date? Yes, of the calendar year? I don't know what that means, but what's my idea of a perfect date? I'm kind of a homebody, but having said that, you know, we've all had so much time at home that I think my idea of a perfect date would be like having a nice dinner and cuddling up on the couch and watching a movie, or going out for dinner and going to a movie. But I think definitely now it would be going out and going to a movie, maybe going for a drink after, although we're not big drinkers here. We do it when we're in Mexico, and then we get it out of our system. Although, never mind. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't drink that often. Greg will have a beer every now and then, but even he doesn't drink that often. But yeah, it would be something going out now, for sure. Because even though I'm I'm introverted and I like to be at home and I don't mind being on my own, I've had enough. And I need to go out. But clearly it's not a good idea right now, and so I don't go out. Is that an E right there? Yes, that is an E. What's the most unusual place you've fallen asleep? I don't know if I have fallen. Oh, okay, so my stepsister's wedding shower. We were all out at a bar, and I fell asleep on a pool table. I think that would be the weirdest place I've fallen asleep. I'm actually pretty boring, right? But yeah, I had a bit too much to drink that night, and I fell asleep and woke up in many places in that bar. I'd fall asleep, I'd pass out, and then I'd wake up and go do something else, and then I'd pass out again. And yeah, and it was a small town, so like we weren't kicked out or anything. In fact, I think that guy let the bar stay open a little bit later for us because we were so rowdy and just refused to leave. So that was in my much younger days, I'll tell you. But yeah, I think that would be. There might be something else that I'm not thinking of, but I don't think so. Like I can't see it being like weirder than that, or anything more interesting than that. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm just gonna take a drink of my iced tea. Speaking of iced coffee, I'm drinking an iced tea. I love Pure Leaf iced tea, and I'm drinking raspberry, but they've got there's a peach one. I like the lemon one too, I mean just the regular one, but anyways, what am I gonna do next? I have some H's, I have some B's, I have lots of C's again. So next question is, at a party, where can someone find you? Back when I partied? Like, usually, I don't know, hanging out with my bestie, dancing my butt off in the corner, or with a group of people, or with complete strangers, because I like to dance, even though I don't think I can dance very well. When I think back to how I danced, I don't think it was like good dancing, but I had fun, and to this day I still love music that makes me feel like I want to get up and dance. And Greg will call it my bubblegum music, but I just like things that like to make me move. So that's probably what I would be doing, or like just sitting and chatting with a group of people. Like as I've gotten older now, it's just like there aren't real parties, but like at get-togethers, you're just sitting in a group and talking away. I mean, I've ordered some stuff off of AliExpress. I've got a bigger white tray with the funnel, or with the thing at the end, the little orange thing that blocks it off so you can shake it around and nothing falls out, and then it kind of all funnels out. It's shaped like this, but it has a little gate. I guess that's the best way to say it. What do I want to do now? V? What is a V? A V is 6. I don't have very many of them, so I think maybe I'll just grab them out of here. Concentrate, Dawn. And by the way, speaking of conspiracy theories, I just want to say a big thank you to the person who shared that they also have experienced the Mandela effect and made me feel less crazy. It's not something, I mean, I like to talk about stuff like that, but it's not something that people are really interested in like I am, so it was really nice that she commented on the last video. So next question. Have you ever lost a friend? If so, what happened? I mean, haven't we all? I guess it depends on what you mean by losing a friend. To my knowledge, I have not lost well, I mean, that's to my knowledge. I haven't lost a friend because they've died, but yes, I have lost friends, and I think, you know, a lot of times it really is that people grow apart and people move and they move on and they form new connections, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. You know, some friends are as much as you like, you cherish those moments with people, but they're meant to be for a part of your life, and they're meant to be to help you grow in whatever way, and then they're meant to be let go. And yeah, so yes, I've lost friends, and I would say that people just move on. I mean, when I was younger, have I lost friends due to fights? For sure. But I think the most part is just that people move on or move away. As you get older, I mean, you do what's best for your life, and sometimes, you know, you're not, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that, but sometimes you just move on. And that's, I don't think, a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. Number M. Or number M. Yes, because M is a number. This is a good one, and this is a tough one. If you could only teach one thing to your future child, what would it be? I mean, I'm not going to have a future child. I've already had children. But I think that there are lessons that I wish I had been able to teach better. And I mean, I think you can. I'm really trying to think about how I want to word this. And it's not that it's, okay, never mind. I'm rambling. I think kindness and empathy are key. And I think most people will be okay if they can look outside of themselves, or look at the world from outside of themselves, if that makes sense, and to care about people. And I think, yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, there are so many things that you want to teach your kids, and I don't know, like, I don't know what would be the one thing that would be the difference, but I know that there's a lot of turmoil in the world, and if we could just approach each other from a place of kindness, I think that would go a long way. I know it's not the answer to anything, but or to everything, but I think it's important, and I think it would help. So I'll just leave that as the answer, because I don't know what else to say. I mean, like I said, there's so many things you could say. What is the scariest thing you've ever done, and why did you do it? I mean, the thing that flies out of my mouth, or the first thing that comes to mind, is flying. Flying is terrifying for me. Why I do it is because, well, there have been times of need, but also it's because I want to go somewhere, and I want to see things, and there are really good drugs to relax you when, oh crap, I did not mean to do that, when you're on a plane. And I have no qualms about taking them and taking as much of them as I need. But that doesn't take away the fear. So I'd say it's because, you know, I want to go places, and that would be the reason why. This is a good question. I like this question. Do you believe in second chances? I think right now we're living in a society of, it's so easy to look at people and look at the mistakes they've made or the things they've done and just cancel them. I think when we do that, we're basically saying that we don't believe people can change or have the desire to change and grow. And so I think it's really, I really dislike that part of what's going on in society right now. And I do think, I mean, it's born out of, you know, the Me Too. I don't know. It's born out of so many things that have happened in our past that have been wrong and that clearly people still need to deal with and heal from. But the idea that a person doesn't deserve a second chance is implying that there's no hope for people and there's no hope for humanity, and why bother then? And I know that I've done a ton of things in my life that I wish I could take back, and I can't, but I like to think that as I grow, my views mature, my reactions change. You know, it's like the little kid touching the hot stove. You let them touch the hot stove so that they know it's hot. Sometimes people do stupid things and you let them fall, but then they have to be able to stand back up and they have to be able to try again. And I just don't like the idea of writing people off. Where do I get my news? That's the next question. I get my news from MSNBC, from CNN, from Global. I am Canadian, but I actually really enjoy watching. I love Rachel Maddow. I love Don Lemon. I don't know. I have actually so many that I love. What I love the most, I love Rachel Maddow, and what I like the most about her, or what I like so much about her, is her way to weave a story. So sometimes you start off and you're listening to her and she's telling you this story and you have no idea where she's going with it, but then she connects all the dots and it ends up being this really interesting, intriguing story. And I know not all of her shows are like that, but that is definitely what I like about her. But I get my news on YouTube also. I mean, I get my news on the internet also. I get my news from a bunch of different sources, and I think that's actually important nowadays because, I mean, I don't think news reporters' intention, not all of them anyways, their intention is to trick us, but I think it's good to be in the habit of double and triple checking your facts, because so many of the news outlets now are very biased, and I do believe that. And again, I think it's not that their intent is to try and trick you, at least not all of them, but sometimes they let their feelings get mixed into the facts. So hearing some different perspectives is never a bad thing. So yeah, check your sources. What is your biggest irrational fear? It would be flying. I know it doesn't make sense. I know that flying is one of the safest ways to travel. I know that the chances of me being on a plane that crashes is very minimal. but I can't explain it except that there is a lack of control. I mean, when I'm driving, I've said this, I've tried to explain this before to people. When I'm driving in a vehicle, even though there's a higher chance that I'm going to get into an accident in a vehicle, I feel like I have control. So if an accident happens, I mean, and I'm sure this has happened to most people, you know, you can swerve, you can slam on your brakes, whatever. But in an airplane, you literally are at the mercy of the pilot. And that's not, I mean, I know it's irrational because I know the pilot doesn't want to die, like, but I don't know. I have no control. And I also, there's just this, I feel so weird when I'm in the air. I feel like when you are sitting in the chair, I just feel like I get the sensation of like lightness under me, and it's probably just all in my head. But like, especially when you get up to like walk around or go use the washroom or whatever, I feel like I'm gonna fall, even though it's this strange feeling of walking on this solid surface, but not feeling, knowing that it's a solid surface, but it's not feeling solid. So yeah, there's some weirdness there. But that's my biggest irrational fear. It has to be. I mean, I have lots of fears that are irrational. But that's the one that comes to mind. Are you active on social media, or do you prefer to be more private? Well, if YouTube is considered social media, I try to be active on it. I try to engage with other YouTubers and create relationships with other people. I'm on Facebook. I belong to some groups that I interact with people, but I also am, and I've been on Facebook for years, but I'm doing it, this whole journey for me, and I've said this to you guys in the last few videos, it really is about getting out of my comfort zone and building up my self-esteem and I don't know, just kind of not being so, or trying to not be so introverted, and get out there a bit more. And yeah, so I mean, I think I'm private within reason, but I'm also on social media. I do not understand. I wish I understood Instagram. I can't even say it. I have no clue about that, or Twitter. I mean, I do not understand Twitter. I see these tweets and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I guess that's the end of it. I try to tweet things, but it's like, to what end? I don't understand it. And people are always talking about Twitter, and Instagram is the other one. I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't know what I'm supposed to post on those things. Never really understood Pinterest. I don't know, whatever. And I want to learn, and I think if this channel is going to grow at some point, I'm going to have to learn it. But yeah, as it stands right now, I don't have a flipping clue. Facebook and YouTube. Those are the two things that I know, and I mean, I don't even know them super well. I just know them to get by. Know how to say hi to people. Are you an organ donor, and how did you come to that decision? I'm actually not sure if I am an organ donor, I would say, but I think that they're changing the laws that if you don't put, my stepson was talking about this, if you don't say what you are, then they just assume, or they leave it up to your family or something. My stepson is a pharmacist, and he was talking about this from a place that he knew or something, I think. So I don't know. I'm not positive if I clicked off that box or not, but I'm not opposed to it. I would be opposed to, oh, I think I need some more wax. I would be opposed to, well, I just don't really want to think about it. Like, I want to think about the good part of it, like, you know, donating my organs so that somebody else can live, or whatever. But the idea of being experimented on, having my body cut up into pieces and used for whatever, who knows what, so that somebody can study, I don't know, body decomposition, or like, all these really bad things come into my head. I don't like that idea. And I'm not sure if you can indicate what you're okay with and what you're not okay with, but I would be okay. I absolutely would be okay if I had an organ that would save somebody else's life. Go ahead. And I don't think I was always like that. I think I used to be just like, nuh-uh, nuh-uh. Like, nobody's taking anything from me. But I think, I don't know. I think I just see the world different now. And yeah, I would be okay with being an organ donor. If I am an organ donor or not, I'm not exactly sure. But I have every confidence in the world that my husband would let them slice and dice me for the benefit of somebody else. What is the next one? Do you believe that you should do one thing a day that scares you? No. No, I don't. No. Like, why would I want to stress myself out every single day? I get the idea behind the question, like building up your tolerance for stuff, but can you imagine if you did something that scared you every single day? You would have PTSD beyond, like, repair. No, I don't. I think it's okay to challenge yourself and push yourself and sometimes try to face those things that scare you, but I don't think that you need to do it every single day. Definitely not. What, if anything, do you think happens after death? Eugh. I honestly don't have a clue. And I guess it depends on what the meaning behind that question is, right? So what happens after death? Your body breaks down and you become part of Earth, and it's kind of like this equilibrium. You give yourself back to the universe, right? Wow, I can't believe I still have not finished this one section. Like, this was a really big section. But I must be really slow too. What line should someone never cross with you, with me, with you, whatever? What line? You know, I think I've had just about every line crossed. I would want to say, just in general, being disrespectful. But I don't know. I think every line has been crossed. I think the question is whether or not you have the strength to believe in yourself enough to set the boundary. I mean, you can't control whether or not somebody crosses a line, but you can control who you allow to have that power, and whether or not you're going to give that power to somebody who's going to use it in a bad way. How do you define beauty? I define it as being who you are. And I don't mean that, you know, beauty is within. I believe beauty is everything. Beauty is being a human being, being an animal, being a tree, being a fly, well, maybe not a fly, or a mosquito, or a wasp, but beauty just is. It's just everything. That's how I would define beauty. Beauty is everything. It's everything that, I don't know, makes you who you are, that is your character, that, I don't know, it's just everything. That's how I would define it. Beauty is just everything. Do you believe in life on other planets? I absolutely do. Well, you know what? I would always say, you know, we would be really arrogant to think that we are the only advanced or life form, if you can call us advanced. I mean, to somebody else we might not be, but then there's all these, like the Fermi paradox, you know, and it's like, why are we not detecting life? Maybe it's because there is no life, or maybe it's because once civilizations get to a certain point, they do something to destroy themselves. And maybe we're just not there yet, but maybe we're on our way, or maybe, and then the other thing too is that when I was a kid, I loved Star Trek, and they travel all around the galaxy and beyond. I mean, they call them the Alpha Quadrant and the Beta Quadrant and the Delta Quadrant and whatever. It's not like that. You know, we haven't figured out how to travel faster than light, and the universe is big, and so, you know, are we going to even know, you know, if there's another civilization out there? And even if we did, you know, I don't know. I was gonna say, how could we prove it? But I guess, I mean, if we knew, we would have proved it. But is it gonna matter? Are we gonna be able to, even if we know that there is somebody out there, are we gonna be able to see them ever? But yes, I do believe that there is life on other planets, and I think part of it is defining what life means, and maybe, you know, maybe a lot of people's definition of life is something like us, and I think there's probably more to it. I don't know. I would like to believe that there's life on other planets, or I do believe that there's life on other planets, and I think it's just us opening our eyes and seeing it in a different way, and maybe changing the definition of what we think of as life. But I do think, and I would like to think that in my lifetime we'll have found it. I hope so much. That would just be life-changing for a lot of people. So the next question is, how do you interact with someone who disagrees with you? I think it depends on the situation, and it depends on what I'm disagreeing with. I think there's a lot of things that, I think in my younger days I would argue, and probably I still do argue my points if I believe strongly in them. But I think when I was younger, sometimes I would argue just for the sake of arguing too. And just to play devil's advocate, I find that oftentimes I want to try and look at things from several angles. But I have learned that it is not always important for me to say what my opinion is. And it is not always important to tell somebody that I don't agree with what they're saying. I think sometimes it is, but I think there's lots of instances where it is not. And I think that's just a maturity thing. I think as you get older, you realize that it doesn't really matter if somebody doesn't agree with you. And I think it makes for interesting conversations, and I think that it makes for growth, you know, I think it's to be, I might not agree with somebody, but to be open to hearing what they have to say is something that helps you look at things differently and grow. yeah, so I usually will hear people out. And sometimes I will argue or my point, or I will say what my point is, or what my view is, but oftentimes I will just listen. Just because I'm, you know, getting older, I don't think that I have the right to put my views on anybody else, but that doesn't mean I won't say them too. All right, we're starting to finally get near the end of this section. Holy crap. Ew, if I could do anything besides what I'm doing now, what would I do? If you could do anything, let me read that the way the question sounds. If you could do anything besides what you're doing now, what would you do? I've always said that I wish I had gone into law. I would have loved to have been a lawyer, just because this is coming from my younger days also, but even still, you know, I like to argue a point, and I like to pick things apart to figure them out. I like to figure out people, I like to figure out angles, I like to figure out how to do stuff. So yeah, I think if I could have done something different, I think I probably would have. If I had had the foresight to choose, I think I would have loved to do law. Something with it anyways. What is on my bucket list? Many things are on my bucket list. I'd love to reach 1,000 subscribers. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I would, but bucket list. I think this has been a good year because I have explored different things that I didn't know if I would like or not, and have found things that make me happy that I would not have known if it hadn't been for this last year. And I actually think I talked about this the other day. But bucket list, like, what do I want to do? I'd love to go to Australia. You guys remember the crocodile hunter, Steve Irwin? I would love to go to, I do believe it is still operational, but to the zoo that oh crap, I missed a bunch. His wildlife conservatory or whatever it is. I don't know if they call it a zoo, or I think it's in Queensland. I'd love to go visit that. I mean, there's many places in Australia that I would love to go. I also would love to go. Isn't it funny that these things all involve travel, right? I would love to go to Ireland to see the Giant's Causeway. It's these stones that are hexagonal in shape, and I mean, they've worn down over the years, but just the idea that these things formed, just the idea that these things formed, I would love to see that. I definitely would love to see that. Goodness gracious, I missed a C over here. Let's get the C over here. We're almost done, guys. J. So these are probably now just things that I've missed. But yeah, for bucket list, I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to jump out of a plane. My daughter did that when she was on one of her French immersion. Man, I still can't even think of the name of it, but she did it one summer. She was in Quebec and did the jump, and oh my goodness. And she didn't even have the courtesy to not tell me. She made sure I knew she was doing it. So that whole day, I just was beside myself with worry. And I have always really appreciated that she did that. Talk about facing your fears every day, or doing something that scares you, or dealing with something that scares you. Ugh. Anyway, if I had unlimited money to start my own business, what would it be? Ugh. You know, I have tried things, and I still am trying things. I don't think I I'm in tune with myself enough to know the answer to that question, because it has evolved, it's changed. If you had asked me this question 3 or 4 years ago, it would have been, I would start my own store in Amazon. Well, I have that, and it's not, for a while it was something that brought me a sense of accomplishment, and now I've kind of veered away. I love designing t-shirts. I've done that, and I'm still doing that, and I don't know. I honestly don't know what I would do. And because I don't know, I think it would be stupid to try and answer, which I guess I did anyway. I tried to answer, but yeah. Okay, oh, what is this? Oh, that's a U. I thought it was a J. And then I noticed this J right here, and I was like, okay, hang on. Why is that one red and this one is black? Okay, so U. I need some U's again. Okay. All right. No wonder so many of them say they give you 30% more. I can see why. I mean, it's so hard to keep track of every single little bead. Okay, U is number 12. I'm just gonna grab them right out of my dish here. I will be so happy when we are done this section. I need an R, an E, and an L. L is 15. I only need one of those, I think. Let me see if I have another question here that I can answer. It's hard now. I'm at this point where I don't have enough left to really warrant pouring them into a dish. So it's a little more distracting. But I think we're getting down to it. Ooh. Last question of the night before we wrap this up with my last couple of beads is, if I knew today was my last day on Earth, what would I do? That's a tough one. No, it's not a tough one. I know where I want to go with this. I think basically I would just, if I knew that today was going to be my last day on Earth, I think I would just want to make sure that I could tell everybody I know how much I appreciate them, and the fact that they've been in my life, and I would want to tell everybody how much I love them, and I would love to hug as many of them as I could, and I would just like to have that contact with people. And I think that would be the thing that I would do. I mean, there's, go for a walk, enjoy nature, do something crazy, spend lots of money, have a big party, whatever. I think I would just want to have that last connection with everybody that I love and I care about, and I would want them to know that they meant the world to me. And I think I just repeated myself, and I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up. I love it. We are all done this section. I can't believe it took 2 videos to get through this section, but like I keep on saying, it's a big section. Next one is not too big. It's just this little part in here, and I am looking forward to doing that one. Okay, you guys, so go ahead and oh, look. Right in the middle of wrapping up, and I notice I missed a bead. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna lose my mind here. Okay, we cannot end this video without getting this last bead, so let's just do it. Let's just do it. Okay, you guys, so that is going to do it for me tonight. I hope you guys had fun. I really actually had a lot of fun answering these questions. They were unorthodox questions, which are the best kind because they kind of make you think. And I enjoyed sharing sort of my points of view with you guys. And thank you so much for spending this time with me. I will see you guys all in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. if you haven't already. And then as well, give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And can't wait to see you guys next time. I don't even know, I'm in this weird headspace right now. But anyways, you guys, have a wonderful night. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and enjoy the rest of your day, night, whenever. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.